Hi, everyone. This is Tanya Cotterell. I am a Blue Diamond Wellness Advocate with doTERRA, and I want to welcome you to our webinar, Effectively Launching Your Business. This webinar has a unique purpose in helping you see the importance of creating a business launch and then giving you the tools and the template to use this particular system to create a launching point in your business, or even a relaunching point if you've been building for a while, that's going to give you a big push of momentum that will allow you to build a successful business. And that word momentum is very, very important because that is what's going to fuel future growth in your business. And so this launching concept is directly connected to momentum, and it's something that's crucial. And it doesn't get talked about enough, and a lot of people begin building and sort of dabble their way into the business, and they work really hard, but they don't work in a way that effectively gains momentum. So if that's you and you've felt some frustration, I think that a light bulb might go off when you go through this training, because this is a very direct and simple approach, and it's a specific model on launching in a way that will build momentum and carry you so that you have activity going on in your business week after week after week that will help you rank advance and help you grow. So why a launch? What does a business launch look like, and why is it important? Well, the concept of launching is creating a starting point that is going to be a big push, a big effort to get your business moving and going in a direction. So if you think about it like riding a bike, the difference between teaching a child to ride a bike and letting them kind of slowly and hesitantly start to pedal, and they're wobbling and they're having a hard time keeping their balance, and they might get 8 feet and then fall because they don't have enough momentum and they don't have enough power and enough speed to keep that balance going. Versus, maybe putting your child, I do this with my kids. In fact, I'm working with my almost 6-year-old son right now to learn how to ride without training wheels. And I like to use this path that's not far from our house, that's kind of a dirt path, and it goes down a little hill, just a very shallow hill, but it's just a slight decrease in elevation, and the dirt's a little softer to fall on than pavement, so I like to use that. But that little bit of a hill allows me to kind of give a big push that I know will give my kids enough speed to have a good chance of balancing their bike and having some success. All right, that's what a launch is about. It might feel a little uncomfortable and a little scary because you really have to go for it, but it will give you the speed and the momentum to see some success. So if you think about your business that way, just slowly trying to get started doesn't give you the momentum that you need for success. You need a big push and something that's going to give you some energy right from the beginning of your business. And so there's a couple of reasons that a launch is really, really critical. The first reason is for you and your own mindset. You need to have that point where you put a stake in the ground and you make a decision that you're starting a business. And maybe you've been building the business, and so this is a decision point of taking your business to a new level, putting a stake in the ground that you're committing yourself to building a business that you're going to actually have commitment built into it. You're going to be serious about it, and it's not going to be a maybe. It's something that you're going to do, and you're going to do with thought and with strategy, and you're going to plan it, and then you're going to follow through on the action steps that it's going to take to build a business. Just as if you were going to open a restaurant, you would choose a launching point where you're going to open the restaurant, and you're going to have a strategy and a plan, and you're going to have all of these things that you need to do to have a successful grand opening. So think about this as your grand opening of your business. it's a point where you're starting something big and you're acknowledging that you're starting something big. And there's something about the way our minds work that we need a starting point, especially when we're looking at goals. We need to say, this is where we start. This is where I want to be at this point in time by this date. So it's important to give yourself that so that you do have the empowerment that comes from that. The second reason a launch is really important is because of what it communicates to the world around us. Just like that restaurant opening, you need a grand opening with some signs and banners and maybe some advertisement and fanfare so that people see, oh my goodness, my friend is opening a restaurant. I'm going to come and check out her restaurant. This is a big thing that she's doing in her life. It's maybe a career change, all right? We want the same type of fanfare when we open our essential oil business. We want our grand opening. Now, I'm not saying go spend out a bunch of money to do advertising. That's not how we build our business. But you need to do some effective communicating and promoting and communicate in a way that says, I've made a decision. I am starting this essential oil business. I am so excited. You have to communicate your passion, your excitement, and your why. Why are you doing it? And build some excitement and fanfare into that and say, this is when I'm launching my business. I am launching my business in 2 weeks from now, and I want to invite all of my friends and family to come check it out and see what I'm doing. And you're going to be doing a lot of inviting here, but you're going to communicate it in a way of, this is my launch, this is my grand opening. Now, if you have been building for a while and your friends and family know you've been teaching the essential oil classes, maybe you've even enrolled some, it's okay. You just communicate again that you're doing a launch because you're taking your business to a new level. And I suggest verbalizing that as you're talking to people. You're making an announcement. You're saying, many of you know I have been exploring this business, exploring essential oils, and I've really grown to love it. And here's the reason why. I am making a commitment to build a serious business. I'm taking my business to a new level, and I'm having this business launch. That's very important that you're communicating to the world that this is your business launch. Now, this shows people that you are serious about your business. It also shows them that you are committed to your business, and they're going to want to partner with someone who is committed to their support and to building a business that they believe in. Commitment is huge. You cannot hide the fact that you are maybe only halfway committed. You can't put on a show that you are committed. People can see right through that. So take a moment and do a little self-evaluation on your commitment level. That's really important because people will be attracted to people that are committed. And if you want people to follow you, then you want them to see it just oozing out of your skin, that you are committed and that you have a strong belief in what you're doing, that you believe in this company, that you believe in the products, and that you believe that this is a good path to be on, and that regardless of whether they join you or not, it doesn't matter to you because you are on this train. You got on the train and it's going, and you're inviting people to get on the train with you, but regardless of whether they do or they don't, you're going for it and you're going to succeed. That kind of belief is very, very attractive, and it's essential if you want people to follow you and join your team. People are attracted to people who have passion, belief, and commitment. So if you've wondered why is nobody signing up to build on my team? Why am I not finding builders? Why, I invite people, they aren't really coming or they aren't really enrolling. Check your belief and your attitude and your commitment, and really think about what vibe are people getting from you, because that is essential. It's essential. You will not have people follow you if you don't have that. So creating a business launch is a great way of communicating and showing that level of commitment. It's really important. Are you building a business or are you building a hobby? Ask yourself that question. Now, I want you to know that this business launching model is for people who are going to build a business. When you're committed to building a successful business and you're looking to grow residual income. If you just want to share oils with people and you want to maybe earn a little bit on the side and maybe get your oils paid for, this probably isn't for you. If you're actually wanting to build residual income into your life, then you will need a successful business launch. It's important to make that distinction. If you have someone join your team who just wants to have a hobby and get their oils paid for, this is not the program to put them into. But if you have someone saying, I want to earn income, show me how to do it, this is a perfect system to put them into. And right here, you're going to learn how to do this for yourself, and then you're going to have the perfect model to train the builders on your team as they come on and get them going with momentum. So this training is based on a concept called 6 weeks to elite. If you are just starting your business, this is a perfect goal for you, is to build your business to elite in 6 weeks, and this is the model that you will want to use to do that. If you are already elite, then don't write this off. You can use this same model to really boost your rank at any point and to meet whatever goals that you have. So we will talk about building to elite in 6 weeks, but insert your goals into that if you're already elite. So this can be applied very effectively to brand new builders, but it can also be used at any point in your business if you need to reboot your business. You need that restart and you need to insert some momentum into your business. Then you can use this as an effective relaunching point. This is a great model that I knew right away when I heard it was something that we needed to teach on our team, and we needed to do it. I did not invent this model. I heard of it from some other leaders, but I knew when I heard it that it works, because when I built my business, no one showed me a model. No one told me what to do. My upline was figuring it out right as I was trying to figure it out. But we sort of landed on this model, and my upline came and taught some classes for me that when I look back really fit this pattern right from the beginning. I had several classes right at the beginning that fit this pattern, and the way that I invited people fit this pattern. I didn't realize it at the time, but it really, really helped me. And I was able to go elite on my very first month. My elite rank held solid for 2 more months, and then I went to convention and really cemented my commitment. And when I came back, I continued on with the consistency of this type of model of class teaching that helped me go from elite to silver on month 4. Okay, now everyone's track is different, but my point is getting to elite quickly helped me have the momentum to build to silver quickly. That helped me go to gold, and then eventually to diamond 17 months later. All right. It works. And people have asked me over and over again, how did you get to silver that fast? How did you get to elite that fast? How did you get to diamond that fast? And by the way, that speed is pretty average for builders, so it was nothing special. But there is a difference between doing it that way and just taking maybe a year to get to elite and being exhausted by that point. And there's a difference, and I want you to experience the rapid momentum versus the long, drawn-out, tiresome road, okay? So when people ask me, I had a hard time putting it into words because I didn't have a system that I used. But when I heard this training, I realized that's it. That's very, very close to what I did. And now someone has a system for it, and I can teach it. So this is something that I'm very passionate about, because I really believe that momentum happened because some of these key points happened in my business, and that's why I really want to share it with you, because I truly believe that it works. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we talk about the actual model and what to do, let's go over a few key points. You're going to want to look for people who are more successful or influential than you. There's a lot of intimidation that happens, and we hesitate to go and approach the people that maybe intimidate us. So think about that, and think about the people that you really would love to see on your team, and don't be afraid to approach them. Great leaders know that the secret to building a great team or a great business or great movement is to surround themselves with people that have more skills, more success, and more influence than they do. All right? So don't be intimidated by them. They will help you. I am blessed to have some leaders that have skills far beyond mine, and they've really helped me to rise to the occasion, and they've really helped our team to grow very strong. And I'm so glad that we have that variety of skills. So look for people like that. You're going to want to enroll anyone that wants to get oils in their home, but you do want to be strategic about who you might want to have in really key places of leadership on your team. You're looking for people that have a high level of skills and influence, and don't be afraid to talk to them. That's my point. You want to train people during their highest point of excitement, and this is usually the first week when they decide they want to build a business. It might not be their first week of being enrolled. Maybe they used oils for a while and then they became interested in the business. But when they start talking to you about building that business and you hear that excitement in their voice, even if they're a little scared, you need to capitalize on that point, because that's an emotional high that will help build that momentum into their business launch. And you want to get that launch scheduled with them right then, okay? Keep it simple. This model isn't necessarily easy. It requires a lot of moving outside of our comfort zone, but it is very simple, and let's not overcomplicate it. Simple works and duplicates well. Perfectionism is the one thing that holds people back the most. I can't say this enough. Stop waiting to know more about the oils. Stop waiting to know how to teach the perfect class. Stop waiting to really understand the compensation plan and how it works inside and out. If you keep waiting, you will never do it. The key is just jump in, figure it out as you go, make a lot of mistakes, and you will build a successful business. And it's on-the-job training here. You will learn it as you do it, okay? Someone doesn't fully understand the mechanics of how a bicycle works and the muscle memory that it's going to take to ride that bike before they get on and ride. They can't study, and know how to do it and then get off and ride off, ride down the street. They have to jump on and be willing to fall and make a fool of themselves and wobble around. And as they do it, they learn. That's what we're going for here. Duplicate. This is going to all be about duplication. Not only are you learning this model for your own business launch and momentum, you're learning it so that it can be duplicated on your team. You're going to teach people how to do it. You're going to hold their hand and walk them through it, and you're going to teach them to teach people. And that's what will open that door to infinite growth on your team. That's what you're looking for, is duplication. This model sets the course for 2 years to financial freedom. Now, when we talk about financial freedom, we're really specifically honing in on the rank of diamond. Diamond right now, currently we're about halfway through the year of 2015, and based on the numbers from 2014, a diamond rank averages about $16,000 a month. That is plenty of money to retire or to have whatever type of financial freedom that you are desiring, okay? Maybe it's to quit a job. Maybe it's to help a spouse quit a job. Maybe it's to pay off debt. Maybe you're trying to pay for your college education for your kids or pay off your own student loans. The whole concept here is that you will have freedom to do the things in life that you want to do, and you're not going to be dictated by getting the bills paid each month at that point. So that's what we're working towards, and the reason we have a model of 2 years to that diamond rank is because that is the average amount of time that diamonds take to get there. All right, so when we look at the diamonds in doTERRA, on average, it took them 2 years to get there. So this is not a really aggressive plan. It's just a strong plan that's based on averages, and it's very doable. I doubt you could list a lot of other places where you could build that kind of financial freedom in 2 years. It takes hard work, but is it worth it? Absolutely. Who wouldn't want to work hard for 2 years to have that kind of financial freedom for the rest of their life? It is about working hard, but it's also about working smart, because I'll tell you what, you can honestly work really hard and still be elite in 2 years, or even executive or below, if you aren't working smart. I would so much rather see you work hard and work smart and hit diamond in 2 years than work hard without working smart and still be struggling for, $100 here and $100 there. It's all about being consistent, especially for that first year or two. Consistency is a game changer. It will make or break you. You can't do it in bursts and rest and bursts and rest. You have to be committed to consistency. Hold yourself accountable. Here's what I want you to ask yourself. You are the CEO of your business. How well are you running your business? How well do you want to run your business, and how well do you plan to run your business? If you were CEO of your business, is your business going to succeed or fail? We need to hold ourselves to that standard. Here's another thing to think about. Let's say you are employing yourself. So you're going to put yourself into two different roles here, your employer and your employee. You, as employer, are having employee evaluation day, and you're bringing your employees in and you're giving them a review. So if you, as the employee, were sitting across from yourself at the desk having an employee review, what kind of review would you give yourself based on commitment and action? Would you give yourself a raise? Would you maybe fire yourself? We need to hold ourselves to that level of accountability and stop letting ourselves off the hook. All right? It's a matter of integrity. If we want to build a business, we need to have the integrity, just as if we were working for someone and wanting to please them, that we are going to work hard at what we set out to do. Now, find help, because human nature is we do tend to let ourselves off the hook. Excuses creep in. We justify reasons why we didn't get the things done we wanted to get done. And so building accountability into our lives really helps. So have an upline mentor, maybe have a cross-line accountability partner, but you need like a weekly check-in with someone where you're going to be very vulnerable. You're going to give passport into your life with that person so that they can, and they're expected to ask you how you're doing on your goals. They're going to ask you, you said that you were going to make this many contacts this week, and you were going to talk to these people, and you were going to give out these samples, and you were going to invite, or you were going to plan a class, and you were going to follow up with people. Whatever it was that you said you were going to do, how are you doing? Did you get all of that done? That's what you're going to need. We all need it. Lead by example. Stop expecting people beneath you in your organization, your downline, to really get busy and get building if you're not busy in building. So anything you're expecting people to do and you want them to do, make sure you're doing it first. Teach others to duplicate. We already talked about that, but you're going to keep hearing that because it's really important. Okay, here's our model. It's a simple 4-step process. Step 1, set a goal. Step 2, schedule a launch week. Step 3, ensure a strong attendance. Step 4, book classes from classes. And that is the model we're going to use. Now we're going to break these down and we're going to look at each one individually. Step 1, set a goal. If someone is not elite, then I encourage that this goal be elite in 6 weeks, no matter what your long-term goals are. Whether you want to be diamond in 2 years or diamond in a year or diamond in 4 years. Elite in 6 weeks is critical because it's going to fuel you to move into that rank, regardless of how long you want it to take. Diamond in 2 years is very possible, though, but you want to hit elite quickly. Otherwise, you're going to exhaust yourself trying to restart and hit that volume amount month after month after month. You want to hit that benchmark of volume quickly because that will give you the momentum to keep moving instead of repeating the same process over and over again. So sit down with people that join your team and talk to them about their goals and give them control over their goals, but encourage them into hitting elite quickly no matter what it is that they're trying to do if they want to build residual income. It's really critical. What you do in your first week will determine your outcome in 6 weeks. So in this 6-week model, week 1 is critical. Think of that as the week that has a bullseye target on it. Your most energy is going to get really fueled into that week. Now, you're going to need a couple weeks to prepare for this 6-week model because your first week will involve classes and you need time to invite people. So schedule your launch week a little bit out and know that there's work to be done up to that week to make it successful. But how that first week results is going to directly determine the results you see at the end of the 6 weeks. So why elite? Well, elite is the first stepping stone to success. All of our ranks are really built with a foundational brick of elite. It's built out of elites. So elite requires 3,000 in volume, in organizational volume. That's you plus everyone under you. In one given month, what is the total volume of those orders? PV volume. When it's added together, if it hits 3,000, Congratulations, you've hit elite. So that's what you're going for. That's the goal. Now, the ranks above it, let's look at some key benchmark ranks here. It takes 3 elites to earn silver, and it takes 9 elites to earn platinum, and it takes 12 elites to earn diamond. See how it simplifies it so much when you look at those upper level ranks and you just measure it on how many people you need to help hit elite. It makes it much more easy to wrap our minds around, and it really simplifies the process. Here's an example of what an elite organization might look like. Now, this is just based on everyone. They're having 20 people that are on 150 LRP, okay? Most of the time, you're still going to be having a lot of new enrollments counting for that volume when you first hit elite. So it can look like any formation. Structure doesn't matter. It's just 3,000 OV hits you at elite. Silver. Now, I want to tell you this slide is a little outdated, and it says the average silver makes $2,000 a month, and that is a little bit higher. The average silver is more like $2,100 to $2,200 now a month. But this is the structure needed. 3 personally enrolled elites. You have to be the enroller of the person who hits elite on each leg. They do not have to be on your front line. They can be down lower in those legs, but they have to be on separate legs, and you have to have personal enrollership of them, and they have to hold the rank of elite 3,000 OV. Once you have that, all on the same month, then you are a silver, and that is the first leadership rank in doTERRA. It's very cool. There's some extra compensation bonuses. You get some of those leadership pools, which are profit shares from the whole company's profit. It's a great rank to hit. So you're going to learn how to go elite, and you're going to teach 3 people how to go elite. It's as simple as that, and that will get you to silver. Let's jump ahead to diamond. Diamond needs 12 elites, okay? So those 3 people you trained to hit elite, if you help them to go to silver and you, along the way, work with another leg and help them to go to silver, that's your diamond rank. Now, this slide is, again, outdated. The current average is just over $16,000 a month for the rank of diamond, and that varies a little bit from year to year, but that's your financial freedom. So when you think about teaching people to go elite, to get yourself to silver, and then teaching those people to teach people to go elite, do you see where the duplication is kicking in? It's all about duplication. Step 2 is scheduling 4 classes in 1 week. This is your launch week. So you need to look at the calendar and choose your launch week. Your launch week needs to have 4 classes scheduled that you're teaching. If you're brand new and you have an upline to come help you, that's fantastic. Use that. You want to schedule classes and times with as much variety as possible, because what this is a big net you're casting out, and you want to catch more fish on class attendance. And the more variety you build into the week, the more fish you're going to catch. People have all kinds of different schedules. So if you have something in the evening, something on a weekend, something in the morning, your net is larger, okay? Now, when I first started my business, I didn't know I was doing this to help myself. I was scheduling classes to accommodate people, and what happened was my enroller offered to teach a class for me, which I thought was just the most gracious thing, and I was really excited about it. I didn't realize at the time that it actually helped her build her business as well. So I was scheduled one with her, and then I realized, well, if I have it during the day, a lot of people at work can't come, and if I have it in the evening, I'm probably going to miss out on a lot of the stay-at-home moms I know. So what I did is I scheduled a morning one and an evening one, and I sent out the invitation to everyone that I knew, a lot of people. And then and I really spread the word. You know, at the time I had some preteen girls, my daughters, so I had them kind of help watch little kids upstairs during that morning class, and that helped enlargen my net, all right? What I found was a lot of people couldn't make it that day but wanted to come to a class, and so I asked my enroller to come and teach a 3rd class later that week, and my net enlarged again, and I was able to get more people in. Now, I didn't do 4 because I didn't have this model. I was just trying to fit people in, but I did another one a little bit later and got more people in. But even just those 3 that I scheduled that week helped me build momentum and actually helped me go elite my first month. So that variety of class times is really important. And it happened by accident in my business, but you can strategically plan it into yours. When you invite people to your business, you're going to be giving them all 4 options so that they can find one that works for them. Here's an example of an invitation. See how all 4 classes for the launch week are listed on the invitation. You make something that you like. It can be anything, but the key is all 4 get invited. So really you're giving them a multiple choice. Instead of a can you come or can you not come, you're saying you choose which one works for you. Well, when you're planning your class, here's a few tips to keep in mind. Personally invite people, and you're going to invite a lot of people, so this is where the workload comes in. The more personal, the better. If you want people to show up, you need to invite them personally. In person is wonderful. Give them an oil experience while you're there. I like to get the oil on them on the spot. Peppermint is a great attention getter. They will listen to you the minute they inhale that peppermint or feel it going into their muscles. Over the phone is great. Text messaging is actually really effective. Emailing is not so effective anymore. People ignore their emails a lot. They're not engaged as much on email as they were a few years ago. Social media is good if it's used well. You would want to privately message people that you're friends with so they see it, and it's a one-on-one conversation. Group messages do not work well. Facebook event invitations don't work well. People don't see them, and they don't feel obligated to reply. I mean, I get invitations for a million different things, and I ignore most of them, and you probably do too. So if it's easy to launch out, it's easy to ignore. Think of it that way. Group emails don't work well, and group like Evite type things don't work well. If you can only email someone and that's your only means of communication, make sure you individually email them, contact them personally. Bigger is not necessarily better. If your class size is getting up higher than that 8 to 10 mark, 10 is kind of stretching it, you're going to want to split it and see if you can move people to another class time and add another class, because you need to be able to handle the crowd size. If you have your enroller coming to help you, you might be able to handle a little more people, because you need each person to get a little bit of one-on-one time with you. The goal is to be able to sit down next to each person at the end and see what you can help them with and have that conversation and be able to ask them that question, are you wanting to set up an account? Can I help you with that? You don't need to be an expert. In fact, it's better if you're not. I made this mistake. I was an information junkie, and I like to just spew it all out at my classes, and people loved all the information, and what I would hear back is, wow, I don't think I could ever do what you do. That is not what you want to hear. You want people thinking, this was really simple. Would I be able to do this? Maybe I could do this. So keep it at 45 minutes of presenting. Don't go over that. You'll lose them. Have a little time to work with them afterwards, but just give them the basic information. Don't give away the farm. You do not need to buy every chair pad out there and every supply out there. You're going to end up spending so much that you're not going to come out profitable. Keep your expenses low. You need some oils, a diffuser, hopefully, if you have one, a few books, like a modern essential books for people to use and hopefully buy. And you need some handouts, like a basic handout about the oils and a price sheet, kit sheet, enrollment sheet. And that's really it. I prefer the Natural Solutions handout because it has all of those all in one handout. But there's other options as well. But just keep it simple and keep it inexpensive. Look for builders and oil users. You need both. A healthy organization has oil users, people who share, and people who build. All right? You need a nice spectrum of people. If you're only looking for builders, you're going to miss out on a lot of volume from oil users. And if you're only getting good at enrolling people to use the oils and you're not talking about the business and you're not nurturing people into thinking about doing this as a business, then you're going to be a great sharer and you're probably going to get your oils paid for, but you're going to have a hard time duplicating and building residual income. Don't bother with food. This really messes up classes. Don't feel like you have to have a big spread of food or have a whole luncheon in order to get people to come. You want them to come for the education and to learn about essential oils. If you have a lot of food, this is why it will sabotage you. People will get sleepy from eating and they won't hear you. Their blood sugar will do weird things to their brain and they'll kind of zone out. The other reason is if they see that you put a lot of work and effort out, they won't want to host a class. They won't want to build a business. I would not want to sign up for a business that required a lot of cooking. That's not my thing, okay? You have to make it look simple and easy, or you're going to lose potential people and potential builders on your team. If you have to have something, just pick one item, make it something simple that uses some oils, like soaking apple slices in On Guard water is very popular. On Guard popcorn, some fruits and just like some veggies or fruits on the tray. Nothing that looks like you actually had to work at cooking. I promise that's a huge tip for you. Stick to the basic class. You're going to teach a basic intro class over and over and over and over again. That is what's going to build your business. I know that there's a lot of other health topics that are interesting to teach and people want to learn them and they'll ask you to teach them, and you need to really stick to your guns on teaching the basic class. There's a time and a place to teach some other topics, and that's going to be a nice thing that you can do for your team to keep them engaged here and there. But if you're looking for more people to enroll and more people to consider the business and join your team, you've got to do the basic class over and over and over again. Even from outside a business perspective, when we're just looking at helping people and sharing oils, yes, people need continuing education, but you're going to give them tools to continue to learn and self-educate. The people out there that haven't heard of doTERRA and they haven't heard of essential oils are the ones that we really need to be reaching out to. There's a great need for the basic class. The need there is bigger than the other classes. So let's spend 95% of our effort there. When you do your launch week and then the weeks following that with the classes you're going to book, they all need to be the same. So it doesn't matter which class people come to, they're going to get the same class. Again, perfectionism will do nothing but hold you back. Success follows imperfect action. It's a really good thing to just remember and even memorize. Step 3, ensure a strong attendance. We're going to use something called the 3-contact method. The 3-contact method involves 3 steps: the invitation, the follow-up invitation, and the last reminder, which happens the day of. Let's look at the invitation, your initial invitation. You're going to make these 6 weeks your one-time invite blowout, and especially those weeks leading up to week 1, those prep weeks before your 6 weeks launch. Consider that your invitation blowout, all right? This is your grand opening promotion. It's got to be big. It's kind of go big or go home, okay? So if there's ever a point to have a lot of courage and to really put a lot of time and effort and kind of put away some of the other urgent things in life that just bombard your time, this is the time to do it. Carve out the time you need to do this major promotion for your launch. Go at it with the mindset of inviting the world, okay? You don't have to be close friends with them. You're going to go out there and you maybe meet new people, people that you just are maybe know their acquaintances, neighbors, your mailman, your bank teller, whatever. Invite as many people as you can. This is a good time to really think about why you want to succeed. What is it that you're trying to do? And then it stops really mattering and what people think and who you're going to talk to and how it would come across with them. Stop playing those mind games with yourself. People don't think that hard about it like we think they do. You need to invite a lot of people to get a fraction of those people at your classes if you're going to have success. So you've got to get the word out. Don't prejudge who will be interested. Don't prejudge how much money they have. Don't prejudge whether they are going to be into natural health care. I promise you the ones that you never would have seen doing this will be the ones that do it, and those that you think would be perfect for it are probably not going to be the ones that do it. So your job is to just put it out there for everyone so they all have the same opportunity and let them make that decision. Don't rule out people you don't know yet. Go out and meet some new people. Don't stop at 100. Keep going. That's just your bare minimum point to start with. So you're going to start with a list of 100 people. That's really important. Don't think that you can't get a list of 100. You absolutely can. It's very doable. It seems daunting, but start writing down names. It's not as hard as you think, and I'll bet you anything you can get beyond 100. Don't expect everyone to join yet. Be patient with people. Some people, they're not there yet, but a need will come along, and if you continue to have an open invitation to them, you continue to touch base and say, hey, I'm still doing these classes. I'd love to get you in on one. Eventually, people come around. It's really cool. And then the last step of your 3-contact method, not your last step. The second step is your follow-up invite. Now, this happens about a week before. It can happen a little closer to the event, too. I would say somewhere between that 7 to 4 day window before the actual event. So this is where you're going to follow up with people to see if you can get the actual RSVP commitment. You're going to call or text those that you invited, and you want it to be a natural flow of conversation, not something that seems creepy where you're saying, I gave you an invitation and I haven't heard from you. I really need to know. I'm following up. That just sounds kind of like you're stalking them. You don't want it to come across like that. You want it to feel natural. So here's some examples. If you gave them samples, you might follow up to say, hey, how did those samples work out? Did you have a chance to use them? I'd love to hear how they worked for you. What experience did you have? Then you're going to lead that conversation into, I'm launching my business and I've got these classes coming up and I'd love to have you come to one. Would one of those classes work for you? I still have openings. I'd love to put you down for one, okay? Make it seem urgent. Have a sign-up sheet. Talk about having seats, limited number of seats. You'd love to prioritize and put them down. Ask for that commitment in a graceful and tactful way. Let's say you left an invitation at their doorstep. Maybe you called them and said, I'm going to leave an invitation for you. Maybe you left it at a desk of a coworker's. You're going to follow up and say, I want to make sure you got that invitation I left for you. Again, you're going to be asking for a commitment to one of the classes. If you gave them an invitation in person, you're going to follow up and just say, hey, I just wanted to check in with you about that invitation I gave you. I want to make sure that it was all clear, see if you have any questions about the details, and I wanted to see if one of those dates would work for you. I still have openings. I'm filling up my sign-up sheets. Can I put you down for one of those classes? Ask those questions. Don't sit around and wait for them to initiate. You have to be the initiator if you want to get some commitment. Email or Facebook message. So you're going to follow up and just make sure they got the invitation. Even if you saw that they read their Facebook message and they didn't reply, they probably just forgot. I do it all the time. It gets lost in the news feed. Send them a nice personal message and then say, hey, by the way, I just wanted to make sure you got that invitation I sent you. Would one of those classes work for you? I really want you to come and hear about these oils. They've made a big difference in my life. That kind of a message. The last day reminder. This is the third step of your 3-contact method. This is the letting you know text message, I call it. You can call to, I prefer text, but you're going to say, I'm calling to let you know, or I'm just letting you know, and then you're going to have something that you're going to let them know about. Again, so it's a natural conversation. It's not that you're nagging them and reminding them, but when you message them and let them know about something, it reminds them that they committed to the class. This is very, very important. Don't skip this step because honestly, when people say they're going to be somewhere, the way our flaky culture works, and this is especially true with women, I've found, because they have a lot of stress with dealing with families and jobs, and we tend as women, when it gets closer to the event, to kind of second guess whether we're actually going to go because it requires a lot of effort to maybe pull ourselves together and go, well, I'm going to have to take a shower and do something with my hair or change my clothes, that kind of thing. I'm going to have to settle the family so I can escape. It's really important because people actually make that final commitment of whether they're going to go or not go with about an hour before they get into their car to go. That hour when they have to make that decision about whether they're going to get themselves ready and drive to the class is when they tend to back out. So you want to time this, depending on what the commute time is for them to your class, you want to time it around that window of time, about an hour or 2 hours before they have to get in their car and go is when you want to send this off. Some examples. If you had said that they would get a free gift if they brought a friend, then you're going to remind them. I just wanted to remind you that if you bring a friend, you'll get a free gift. This is a fun one. I wanted to let you know to try to be on time because we're going to do an on-time prize drawing for those that are there by 7 o'clock. I use parking instructions or driving instructions all the time, even if they really don't need them and it's pretty simple. I'll just text them and say, I'm so excited that you're coming to the class tonight. I wanted to let you know to park on the north side of the house when you get here. Just by giving them some simple instructions gives you a chance to send that message and let them know that you are expecting them there and that you're excited that they're coming. They're going to be reminded that they committed to you, and they're going to feel that they need to follow through with their commitment, and they're going to be less tempted to flake out. I'm excited to see you tonight. I have a surprise for you. Keep that one vague. It doesn't matter what the surprise is. It could be your door prize. It could be a special wine that you wanted to have at the class or something. You don't tell them what the surprise is till they get there, and it doesn't have to be anything big. It's a surprise. And just by saying that, they're going to go, she's going to some effort, and she's expecting me to be there, and she wants me there, and I said I was going to be there, so I'm going to follow through. These are just a few samples, but you want to make sure you pay attention to the language you use, because I want you to think about the difference between these two text messages. Let's say you sent a text out and it says, I just wanted to remind you of the class tonight, and I really hope that you can come. If you're able to make it, make sure to park on the north side of the house. Versus, I'm so excited about the class tonight, and I'm so glad that you're coming. When you get here, you'll want to make sure to park at the north side of the house. Did you hear the difference there? The first one, you're almost talking them out of coming. You're giving them permission to bail out on a silver platter. The other one just reaffirms their commitment and your excitement to be there. And you're going to have a huge difference in attendance if you do this last day reminder effectively. Step 4, this is our final step here, book classes from classes. This is so important, so important. Now you have to have good attendance in your classes in order to make this step effective. So all of these steps they're intertwined and very reliant on each other. But the cold hard truth, and I'm telling you this because I want you to succeed and you need to know this, is that if you don't learn how to book classes from classes, your business will die. If you have a fantastic launch week with 4 classes and you fill it with people and they're excited about oils, but no one booked a class after that, guess what? You need to start another launch week and you need to do it again, because you're not going to be able to fill the weeks following with classes. You're not going to have the momentum we talked about. You need to use your warm market to tap into other people's warm markets. So when people book classes and they want to host a class for you, then you're going to be teaching to their warm market, their friends and family. And then when people book classes from those classes, the education is going to keep spreading and the sharing is going to keep spreading, and you won't have to constantly be inviting your same group of people over and over again. Now, the majority of people that quit building a business quit around the rank of elite or premier. And generally the reason they quit is because they never learned to get out of their warm market. And they get frustrated because they're continuing to invite and share with the same people, the people that they know. And pretty soon they're not getting as much interest, and they're not getting the class attendance, and they're not seeing the enrollments because they're tapping out their warm market. And if they don't learn to move into someone else's warm market and keep that duplication cycle going, their business will die because they'll quit. They'll get frustrated and they'll quit. The truth is that your business really doesn't officially launch until you are outside your warm market. So if you've never really moved outside your warm market, doing a business launch is the perfect thing to do. And learning to book classes from classes is the perfect thing to do. So how do you book classes from classes? Well, there's a little trick and a little tool that I like to use, and I call it the golden ticket. Okay? This is what your golden ticket looks like. Nothing fancy. In fact, this is a really poor quality photo, but what this is, it's about a 3-inch tear pad. It's a door prize entry slip. And I'm talking about this very specific one because the way the questions are phrased, I haven't found another one like this that works very well. And you can order these from My Oil Business, and it's about $1.50 for a tablet of them. So stock up on them. They're great to have. And it has a place for their contact info, and then it asks 3 questions. One is about their interest level of using essential oils for their natural wellness. The second one is whether they want to host a class, and the third one is if they want to learn more about earning residual income through doTERRA. Each one has a place to check yes, no, or maybe. You are going to hold your door prize drawing at the end of your class, and you're going to use these prize tickets to book classes from classes. So you have to give them specific instructions at first. You do not want this going around and they fill out their slip and throw it in the bucket with just their name on it. That is not helping you at all. You're going to explain to them, this is how I effectively support you and help you and follow up with you and answer your questions well. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to put your name and your contact information down and answer these 3 questions for me. And then if there's any health issues that you want me to follow up with you on and give you some more information about, please write them on the back. And I will be following up, and I'd be happy to help you with those. Show them the door prize or prizes. If you have a large class, maybe have a few. And then tell them that everyone gets 1 entry, but if they choose to book a class and host a class with you, they'll get an extra entry in the door prize drawing. If they mark yes or maybe, that counts for an extra ticket. You're going to pass the ticket sheet around and have them put their entry slips in, and then you're going to read them in front of the class. Now, before you do this process, you want to show them the door prizes that you're drawing for, and you also want to show them your hostess gift, because you want to entice them with a very cool gift that they will get if they host a class for you. You're not going to give it to them at the night they book it. You're going to give it to them when they actually follow through and have their class. But you're going to show it, and you need to have it there in front of them to see. If someone's hosting this class for you, you're going to bring them up front, and you're going to actually present it with them and thank them for hosting right there. If this is like your launch week and you're doing these classes yourself, you're just going to display it. And you're going to say, this is the gift I give all of my class hosts for hosting a class, and you can have one of these if you book a class, and I will give it to you when you do your class. You may also mention, and you can win or you can earn free oils for hosting a class as well, because they could possibly use a share program, or you could work out, some oil gifts for them based on the enrollments that come from their class. But don't get into details about that. You can mention that's something that can happen in a very general way without spelling out details. But the main thing is to show them a prize they get for just hosting. Regardless of the enrollments that come in, if they host a class, they get this. Now, what kind of host prize? This is what people ask all of the time. You could do any kind of host gift. So find something that you can afford to do, but know that whatever you do invest in, it's a fantastic investment. And if you do this well, you will have a large return on your investment. One thing that works very well is diffusers. Now, you could go for a pedal diffuser with doTERRA. That's more of an investment. And think about whether you can afford that or not. You don't have to go with something that expensive if that's not in your budget. If you do use that, I really do believe that the return on investment will be worth it. But there are off-brand diffusers that you can get in bulk for $15, $20. And if you use one like that, you're just going to explain, this isn't a doTERRA diffuser. The doTERRA diffusers are really the workhorse that you're going to want in your home. They are higher quality, but you're going to find you want a diffuser in every room. So this is a great diffuser to have, in a bedroom or something. There's something about diffusers that really draw people. So I really recommend thinking about that. But if you come up with a creative hostess gift as well, use it and talk to other people and see what works well. So you entice them with the gift. You explain they get an extra ticket if they agree to host a class. You pass it around, and then you collect them and you read them in front of the class. And you're going to not read their health issues, but whether they check the other boxes, but just the one about hosting a class. You're going to go through it, and you're going to say, oh, Donna marked that she might want to host a class, and you're going to walk over and give her another slip. Go ahead and put your name in again, Donna, and we'll talk later and get that class scheduled. And then you'll go through anyone like that, and you're going to give them their sheet. And then before you draw, you're going to say, I don't want to miss anyone. Does anyone else want to look at hosting a class and get an extra drawing slip? Because some of them are thinking about it when they see other people do it. It'll give them the confidence to go, yeah, okay, I will. I kind of do want to. And so then you give them their slip. You draw for the prize, you give the prize, then you close the class and you go sit down next to each person and help them with making their decision about oils, helping them look up things in the resource book. But you're going to want to go sit down next to people that said they want to host a class first because you want to get those booked. So here's some of those steps that we just talked about. And you'll notice that if they marked maybe, you're still going to reward them, and you're going to still try to get that class booked before they leave. You want to get these on the calendar because otherwise they talk themselves out of it after they leave. Now, they marked it, and so you can go and talk to them, and you said you were going to talk to them, so don't miss out on that critical step. You want to sit down beside them, and you want to say, when would you like to host your class? I want to get you on my schedule. I like to really explain in the class, I am looking for people to host classes because I want to educate more people and I want to get the word out, and I could use your help. Even if you say, I'm launching my business and I could really use help booking classes to get the word out. If you'd like to book a class, here's the hostess gift, okay? Be bold in that and say what you're looking for because you'll have a better turnout if you do. So you're going to let them know, I'm filling my calendar with classes, and you're going to have your class booking calendar there, and I want to get you down on a day. Do not give them a yes or no question. Give them an option A or option B question. You're going to already know like the next 5 or 6 times you could do a class, and you're going to offer the first 2 or 3. You're going to say, well, let's see, I could do a class on Tuesday the 11th at 7 o'clock, or I could do one on Thursday the 13th in the evening as well. Would either of those work for you? Let them think about it. Let them commit to one. If they absolutely don't work, say, I could do a Saturday morning one that same week. Would that work for you? You give them options. Keep the decision-making simple. If they marked maybe on their sheet, you still ask them, but you use that word maybe and you flip it into your question so that it feels like what you're asking them matches what they said they wanted to do. It doesn't feel awkward that way. So the question will go like this. When were you maybe thinking of hosting a class? I have this day. I have this day. See how a maybe is a yes, by the way. It's a yes. They're just having some hesitation. So you're just helping them make that commitment. But you see how regardless of whether their yes was straight out yes or their yes was a maybe yes, you're still leading them into getting a class on the books. Now, once they book it, you're going to write it down for them on something and give it to them. And you're going to tell them to expect an email from you tomorrow with an invitation that they can use to start inviting and some basic instructions. And you're going to assure them that their job is just going to be to invite. And you're going to take care of everything else, so it stays simple. You don't want them backing out when they leave. You want them to feel very comfortable that you have this all under control and handled, so when they leave, they don't go, what did I just get myself into, and what am I going to have to do? They're going to know exactly what to expect, and they're going to feel comfortable that you know what you're doing, okay? After you get done with your launch week and your 4 steps, then really it's all about consistency. You're going to want 2 classes a week for the next 5 weeks. You're going to use booking classes from classes to fill your calendar with these classes. Now, I will be honest with you, I taught an average of 2 classes a week for almost a year when I was launching my business. These were not all in my home, and they were not all me inviting my friends. I probably only taught 4 classes in my home that year. Now, some people end up teaching a lot more in their home, and that might be what you need to do. But really, booking classes from classes helped me get out of my house and just go and teach classes at other people's houses, whether they were hosting or whether they were saying, I kind of want to build a business. Would you do a class for me? And I was teaching to help them get started. This will build the momentum. It wasn't forever. It was a lot of work, though. It was a lot of work. And what I kept telling myself during that time when I was still working part-time running my other business, and I had 4 little kids and a lot on my plate, and I was juggling a lot to make sure I was fully present with my kids. They were having to sacrifice some because I was having to go out and do classes and still work in the evenings and weekends with my other job. And I knew it was hard because I knew that I wasn't with them quite as much as I wanted to be, and they were sacrificing and I was sacrificing. But you know what I knew? It was temporary. It was temporary, and it was our way out, okay? And so I just reminded myself of that all the time when I was exhausted. It's temporary. It's going to get easier. It's going to get easier. And I had that year mark set in my mind, and I was able to quit my other job and close my other business and free up my time a lot. I was also able to take a little bit of a breather from teaching classes. I still taught them, but I didn't teach 2 every week. I backed off a little bit on that, and I did more leadership, and I saw my business growing because I had that consistency that first year. So that commitment to pushing through that initial push of momentum is what will set you free. And I have a great life now with a lot of time to spend with my kids. We've been able to start homeschooling them. My husband has been able to be at home with them now. I'm able to be at home with them. And we have more than made up for the time that we sacrificed. And I've been able to find a healthy work balance that isn't so exhausting because I went through that time period of hard work and commitment of consistency. Now, when you're holding 2 classes a week for the next 5 weeks, know that week 2 is going to be hard to fill from your launch week classes. People aren't going to want to book a class immediately the next week because they don't have time to invite. So you need to do a little thinking ahead of time on how you're going to fill that week with classes. You may find some hosts just individually approaching them as you're planning your launch week and see, maybe your mom will host a class or your friend will host a class the next week too. Or maybe you end up doing another one of them or 2 of them yourself as well. But that's the window that's you have to get a little creative to fill. And then after that, those classes should be really being booked by booking classes from classes. The consistency is what will bring the momentum that will help your little flame that you're starting grow into a fire that will be self-sustaining. So when you're using friction to start a fire, you can't just exert energy to the point where it gets uncomfortable or tiresome and then take a break and then start again and pick up where you left off. You'll start over every time. If you don't have a self-sustaining fire yet, you're going to start over every time. So resist the temptation to do this start, stop model of I'm doing a big push and then, this month is going to be bad. I have a vacation. I've got a lot on my plate. I got sick. We've got a lot going on. It's the holidays. It's summer, whatever. I'm going to pick it back up next month or in a couple of months. You'll never, ever grow a successful business. You will spend the same amount of energy, if not more, with not the payout. Okay, did that make sense? You might spend energy on the months that you're pushing over and over again, starting over and never really get past the week. For years to come if you do it that way. If you want to move past it, condense that energy into a consistent period of time and don't let yourself back off because you need that constant friction to keep momentum going. Once you have your team grown to a point where there's duplication happening, your business is going to have that self-sustaining flame, all right? It's going to be like a bonfire that you can sit back and enjoy. You're going to tend it, but you're not going to have to put that really hard energy into it at that point. But it's not going to be there in the beginning, and you have to have a period of time of consistent effort to get to this point, and it's very much worth it, so keep going with it. The momentum you create will determine the momentum your future builders will create. It's all about duplication again. Not only are you building momentum for yourself, but you're creating a model that people will come in and duplicate and teach their people to duplicate, and it will make a dramatic exponential difference in the growth of your team. So you want to do the things that you want people on your downline to do. They will emulate you, just like a baby emulates their parents as they grow up into a child. They pick up the good habits and the bad habits, so model the good habits. You really, really want to encourage this duplication process. Remember when we looked at those building blocks of elite? If you learn how to boost your rank in 6 weeks like that, and then you teach people that come on board to set a goal of elite in 6 weeks and hit it, they are going to be so pumped up and fired up and fueled. The people that join them, they're going to say, let me show you what to do. This is exactly what you're going to do. Let's schedule your launch week. You're going to make a list of 100. I'm going to show you how to invite well. You're going to work hard at inviting, and then I'm going to come teach your first classes and get you started. And here is the process that you have to do to build a successful business. This is what we do in doTERRA, and this is how it works. And this is going to duplicate on their team. When you have people doing that, building to elite that quickly, and then teaching people how to build to elite that quickly, how quickly will your journey to diamond be? Do you see how that makes such a difference? It's huge. This is why it's worth it. First, you're going to get a lot of enrollments, and you're going to get fast start checks, and nothing fuels your business faster than getting paid. Nothing gets builders excited to keep building than when they get paid. Always make it your goal to launch someone and help teach their classes, and make sure that you get some enrollments going, because you want them to get a check. Even if it's a $20 check, it will build their belief that this company will work and this opportunity is worth it. You will be set up for a successful business. You will know how to train your builders and help them earn that fast start check. You don't need a fancy training system. This is your training system. You will keep future classes booked. So you're not going to end up going, well, now what do I do this month? I've already invited everybody I know. Now what do I do? You're going to have classes on your calendar. You will duplicate momentum and growth, and you will set the foundation for diamond. And that's your track for financial freedom in 2 years. I'm just going to leave you with this quote. If you want something you've never had, you've got to do something you've never done. This will require courage. Don't miss out on this opportunity because you are too afraid. Face your fear straight on and ask yourself, this fear that I'm having, maybe it's to talk to people. Maybe it's to ask people whether they want to set up an account. Maybe it's to tell people that you're starting a business because you're afraid of failure. Whatever those fears are, ask yourself this question. This is something I came up with for myself, and it really helps me. This specific fear that I'm facing right now, it's like a rock in my path, and I can't move past it till I move the rock. Am I going to let this fear or this obstacle be the one thing that stops me from achieving my dreams? Am I going to look back 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and say, I was on the path to success, but that one thing stopped me? Is this going to be it? Is this going to be the thing that stops me? Every time my answer was no. And that's when I found how to dig deep in myself and find a way around it and push through that fear. So have courage. You can do this. Blessings on your business. It's all about choice. And I hope this helped you. Go out and do it and teach other people to do it.